The smell of burning paper stopped my heart before I even reached the kitchen. When I saw the flames, I realized they weren't old bills or junk mail. They were my late wife's letters. Every single one she had written to me over 42 years. My daughter-in-law looked me straight in the eyes and said, "They're just useless paper. It's time to move on." In that moment, something inside me broke. She thought she had destroyed my past. She had no idea one envelope had already escaped the fire. If you enjoy stories that remind us how betrayal can come from the people closest to us, I'd appreciate you subscribing to Family Betrayal. And before we go any further, remember that the faces, photos, and scenes you see are simply visual illustrations to help tell this story. I met my wife, Linda, when I was 23. She believed handwritten letters lasted longer than spoken promises. Whenever one of us traveled, she wrote. When life became hard, she wrote. Even after we had our son, she kept writing little notes and hiding them around the house for me to find. After cancer took her away, those letters became the only conversations I had left with her. My son, Eric, asked me to move into their house after Linda passed away. He said I shouldn't be alone. I believed him. At first, everything felt warm. Then little things changed. My daughter-in-law, Melissa, complained that I kept too much old junk. She wanted a modern home without dusty boxes or old memories. I stayed quiet because I didn't want to become a burden. One afternoon, while Eric was at work, she dragged my storage boxes into the kitchen. Before I understood what was happening, she threw bundle after bundle into the fireplace. I begged her to stop. She smiled. Then she lit another stack. I reached into the smoke with shaking hands and managed to pull out one sealed envelope she somehow missed. I didn't open it. Not yet. Because something written across the front suddenly made me realize Linda had been keeping one final secret. I stared at that envelope for nearly an hour before I finally opened it. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost tore the paper. On the front, in Linda's handwriting, were 7 simple words. Open this only if someone betrays you. My chest tightened. It felt like she was sitting beside me again, somehow knowing this day would come. Inside was a letter unlike any she had ever written. She said that if I was reading it, someone I trusted had probably mistaken kindness for weakness. She reminded me that love should never require me to give away my dignity. Then she wrote something that made me stop breathing for a second. Years before she got sick, she had quietly moved one family treasure into a safe place because she worried greed could one day tear our family apart. It wasn't about money, she wrote. It was about making sure the right person received the truth. Folded inside the letter was a small key and the number of a safety deposit box. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing Melissa's voice calling Linda's letters useless. Every word echoed through my head. Eric came home late, and I finally told him what had happened. I expected anger. Instead, he rubbed his forehead and whispered, "Dad, maybe Melissa was just trying to help. They're only letters." Only letters. Those 2 words hurt almost as much as watching them burn. Have you ever felt more alone surrounded by family than you did by yourself? The next morning, I drove to the bank without telling anyone. The manager unlocked the safety deposit box and left me alone. Inside wasn't gold or cash. There was a leather journal, a velvet pouch, and another sealed envelope with my name on it. When I opened the journal, I realized Linda had documented everything. Family memories, promises, and one truth she had never shared with Eric or Melissa. Then I looked inside the velvet pouch. My eyes filled with tears. The item inside wasn't just priceless. It had the power to change everything they believed belonged to them. My hands trembled as I opened the velvet pouch. Inside was Linda's original engagement ring, the one everyone believed had been lost during a family vacation nearly 20 years earlier. I remembered how devastated she had been. She cried for days, then smiled through the pain and said, "Some things aren't meant to be found." Now I understood. She had hidden it herself. Beneath the ring was a note in her handwriting. "If you're holding this, it means someone valued possessions more than love." I hid this ring because I wanted it to go to the person who protected our family's heart, not the one who demanded our family's treasures. I couldn't stop crying. The journal explained everything. Linda had noticed, even years before she became sick, that Melissa was always asking questions about our savings, the house, and family heirlooms. She never accused her of anything, but she trusted her instincts. She asked me to wait until the right moment before revealing the truth. That evening, Eric and Melissa invited me to dinner like nothing had happened. Melissa even smiled and asked if I was finally ready to clean out the rest of my old junk. I quietly placed the journal, the ring, and Linda's letter on the table. The smile disappeared from Melissa's face. Eric picked up the journal and began reading. Every page pulled him further away from the excuses he had been making. He looked at me with tears in his eyes, then looked at his wife as if he were seeing her for the first time. Melissa insisted Linda had misunderstood her. She claimed burning the letters was just a mistake, that she was trying to organize the house. But then I asked one simple question. If they were only useless papers, why did you wait until Eric left for work before burning them? The room fell completely silent. Melissa had no answer. Eric slowly removed his wedding ring and placed it on the table. His voice cracked as he told her he needed time away from someone who could destroy another person's memories without a second thought. I thought that was the end. I was wrong. The final envelope still hadn't been opened, and what Linda left inside would change my son's future forever.